James was always a very busy child. When James was a baby, he tried to climb out of the crib. And then we knew that he will be trouble from that point on.
One Saturday morning, it was in the middle of a soccer game, and I just remember being very winded through warm-ups. It just felt like no matter how much I wanted to run, my body just wouldn't do it.
He seemed off, like we were wondering, there was lack of energy. Little did we know it will be a start of something life-changing for the family. One day, he said, "Mommy, I have something behind my ear." When I put my hand over that area, it felt like a cluster of beans, actually. And I know lymph nodes do not feel that way. The pediatrician put his hand on James's neck and said, "I have to connect you with this very young doctor. He's very, very good, Dr. Wiener." He sent James for x-ray right away. I knew that if it's a clean x-ray, it will be very quick. And James was inside that x-ray room for more than 15, 20 minutes. I knew there was something wrong from that point on.
Even being just 9, I remember that first doctor's appointment, walking in. I distinctly remember a room with a couple of doctors, a couple of nurses, my parents, and there was kind of, what do we do from here?
My earliest memory was being left from what I thought was a family trip or vacation of sorts. My parents were packing up, James was walking out the door, and I just thought I was being left out of something fun. What I learned later was that James was on his way to a treatment at the hospital, and I had no idea at the time.
And so I said, I don't know how I'm going to tell my son about this thing, because it will make him a very different child from from now on.
Explaining to James what he had, it was the toughest part. And the question he asked me, "Dad, would I die from this?" And I knew the odds by speaking to Dr. Wiener, but when I was confronted with that question, it's very tough for me to tell James. So I tend to kind of shy away from the question, say, "James, don't even think about it. You're under the best care. You'll be fine."
I think I kind of knew that there were the right folks around me when my parents seemed a lot more calm.
Because Dr. Wiener and his team actually did not want to drastically change James's daily routine. Dr. Wiener said, we have to be realistic at this point. Soccer is not a go anymore.
I think tennis became sort of a focus for us, and luckily it was something that I truly fell in love with and something that I really enjoyed playing. And it really just led to a lot of fantastic opportunity for myself and eventually for my sister and kind of for our family.
I didn't realize again as I got older that my even playing tennis in the first place was because of James's cancer journey. 4 months before my diagnosis, I was a Division I college athlete, graduating from my dream school and about to start a wonderful new job. I had just signed a lease for a new apartment in the city to live with my best friend, and 4 months later, I was diagnosed with stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Life is so random and everyone is vulnerable, and to have one child with cancer, certainly an incredible ask for anyone, but to have two, and to have two children with the same diagnosis is mind-boggling.
Growing up, I knew who Dr. Wiener was, but in the same capacity that you might be able to recognize your distant relatives. So the day that I was diagnosed, we met him before we started any of the blood work, and he came in, gave every member of my family a hug, and then looked at me and said, "Whatever it is, you will be okay. Let's find out."
Certainly with Amanda, we were fortunate to be able to get things done so quickly, have her admitted to the hospital, have the biopsies. When you deal with lymphoma, you need chemotherapy. That's the path to cure. And when you begin treatment, you have no options. You have to begin, you have to go through the prescribed regimen, and God willing, you will be well. One of the things that the integrative medicine components provide is it empowers patients. It allows them to do something proactively to help themselves. And Hope and Heroes was instrumental in that. Most patients will take advantage of it.
I know Dr. Weiner founded Hope and Heroes to make sure that every child and family could have the same standard of medical care that I was able to have.
In fact, it's the motto of Hope and Heroes that every patient should receive, regardless of their financial resources, the best treatment available, and we will do everything we possibly can to assure that.
To me, it's very important for myself and my family to be involved because I never want anyone to go through what we had to, and I fully understand that maybe that's not a realistic outcome, but making it as pain-free, making it as easy for folks to achieve kind of the life of normalcy that we have.
Cheers. Okay.
Cheers for good health, long life.
The charity has had great success. We seem to have found a formula that allows us to provide the necessary resources that are needed. Hope and Heroes is really the family around the family.
One of the scariest things to me when I was sick was that I just didn't understand what the road looked like going forward. That's why it's so important to me to be able to give back to the community that honestly is going through some of the hardest things in their lives, but the best part of their futures are ahead of them. So any way that you can really kind of give back to somebody who's going through the same experience, and sometimes it's as small as knowing that you are absolutely not alone in that journey.